All right, guys, number 1 on your study guide for the quiz tomorrow on this happy Halloween is the 6th graders at Griffiths Middle School are selling bags of popcorn and candy bars to raise money. So remember, they're selling popcorn and candy bars. So the ratio of total amount of popcorn, and let me highlight that for you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. Sorry, I'm trying to get my yellow. So the ratio of total amount of popcorn sold to the total amount of snacks is 5 to 8, right? Which is right here, 5 to 8. Select all statements that are correct. So given the information that we have, it says that we have popcorn. I'm just gonna put pop to total, right? Total snacks sold. And it said it's 5 to 8. So that's what it should look like. Now we're going to see which one of these statements is correct. And before I do that, if there's only 2 things being sold, popcorn and candy, right? Over here it says candy bars. Then that means if the total I sold was 8 and 5 of it was popcorn, how many would have to be candy bars? That means candy would be 3, right? 3 to 8. That would be my ratio for candy, right? Because 8 minus 5 is 3. So those are the 2 ratios I'm working with. So over here we have the ratio of popcorn sold to candy bar sold is 5 to 3. So popcorn is 5, candy is 3. So that is correct, right? Popcorn sold would be 5, candy is 3. So this first answer is correct. Let me see if I can zoom in for you guys. I'm trying to circle it. There you go. The second part, the ratio of total snacks sold to popcorn is 8 to 5. So now instead of saying popcorn to total, we're saying total to popcorn. And it says it is 8 to 5. So 8 to 5, that is exactly the same, right? All I did is I flipped these over, right? Popcorn's on top. Now popcorn's on the bottom. Total's on top. Total's on the bottom over here. So I just flipped my fraction basically. So that is also correct. Now the ratio of candy bars sold to total snacks is 3 to 8. And we talked about it over here already. That means 3 to 8. This is total right here. And then, so that's also correct. This next one says there are 5 bags of popcorn for every 3 candy bars sold. So now it's doing a ratio of them together. So let's see what it says first. 5 bags of popcorn. So pop to candy is our ratio now. And I know it's 5 popcorns and 3, right? And it says for every 5 bags of popcorn sold, there's 3 candy bars sold. And that is true, 5 and 3. So that is also correct. I can go over here and circle that. E, the 6th graders have sold 55 bags of popcorn, or could have sold 55 bags of popcorn and 33 candy bars. So that means it's doing popcorn to candy bars again, which is this ratio. So it says 55 candy bars to 33, right? So it's just saying, are these equal? Are these equal fractions? Or the ratios are here? And it would be, right? All I'd have to do is divide by 11. And if I divide this by 11, I get 5 over 3, which is the same ratio. So is that correct? And I know I'm moving kind of weird with this app, but that is also correct. And the last one, the ratio of candy bars sold to popcorn sold is 3 to 5. So this one says candy to popcorn, and it says 3 to 5. Is that the same? It sure is, right? All I did is I flipped my things over. See how popcorn's on top here? Let me get my laser. Popcorn's on top over here, and that's on the bottom. Candy's on the top, the bottom, and it's on top over here. So my fraction kind of flips, right? 3 to 5. 5 to 3, 3 to 5. And so that is also correct. So if you look at this, oh no, how do I zoom in again? Here it is. If I look at this ratio, the ratio of candy bars sold to popcorn is 3 to 5. That is also correct. So that is also a correct answer. So all these were actually correct answers. And it's just kind of focusing on if you can tell me whether, I can't move stuff. Here it is. That whatever thing it lists first is on top of your ratio, and the second thing it lists is on the bottom. So it says candy bar, so candy bar should be on top, and then popcorn should be on the bottom. That's the last one. And it's kind of making sure you know the 3 different ways. 3, like if it says 2, this is saying 5 to 8, or 5 to 8 with the words 2, or 5 colon 8, right? That's the 3 different ways you can write it. So it sounds tricky, but really, if you just read through it and make sure you put it in order, you'll be fine on this problem. All right, next one we're going to do is number 2. And it says, at a wedding, there are 14 tables and 70 chairs. So if I write that out, it says tables and chairs, right? So it says there's 14 tables. And you know what I'm going to do? Let's say I wrote this in red. I know my writing kind of no bueno like this, but and 70 chairs. So now it says the ratio of chairs to tables at the wedding is. So now it's not asking me for tables to chairs, right? It's asking me for chairs to tables. So I have to be careful and make sure I answer what it's asking me, instead of just, since the information given was tables to chairs, I need to actually make sure I flip it, right? So instead of it being 14 on top, it's going to be 70 on top. And then 14 is going to be on the bottom. All right, and then I'm not actually done here, because this could be simplified. So I could divide by 7. If you guys can't see that, you could divide by 2 as well, and then divide it again afterwards. But the fastest way would be to divide by 7, because this could be simplified, right? And if I divide the top by 7, I have to divide the bottom by 7, which means 70 divided by 7 equals 10, and 14 divided by 7 equals 2. But guess what? I'm not done, because that can also be simplified. So let's divide again. I can divide by 2, and I can divide by 2, and I get 5 over 1, right? So that's my new ratio. So chairs and chairs and tables is actually for every, there's 5 chairs for every table, right? For every 1 table. So that's my answer here. 5 to 1. All right, that was number 2. I'm just gonna work out one more for you guys. Oh, didn't mean to do that. One sec. All right, so this last question is the table shows the number of baseballs that fit into a given number of containers. Each container holds the same number of balls. Enter the missing value from the table. So we have this table here, and we're just trying to figure out what that missing value is. So we can do some patterns here and figure out like what our ratios are by kind of doing like, if I go here 1 to 6, well, I know I multiply by 6, right, to get that number. And if I did the same thing here, 2 times 6 equals 12, I know they're 6 apart, right? So then if I figure that out, then I can figure out, well, 2 times what equals 10? 2 times 5 equals 10, which means 1 times 5 is going to be my missing unit, right? The other way you could have done it is just figuring out the pattern. I went 2, 4. Okay, so 1 times 2 is this, and 2 times 2. I should get my laser. Here we go. 1 times 2 would be 2, so then 2 times 2 equals 4. 2 times what equals 10? Well, it's 5, so 1 times 5 equals 10. That's my missing answer. You can also notice like the ratio here, 1 times 2, 2 times 2, something times 2 equals 10, 6 times 2. So that's the other way you could have also noticed the pattern and made sense of it. If I said 1 times 2 here, 2 times 2, something times 2 equals 10, and then 6 times 2 equals 12. So that's also another way of figuring out what that blank would have been. That is number 3.